Hey guys, what's going on? White Fox 1225 here, and today we have a very special episode of Elder Scrolls Online Saturday. Not only is it the first episode since launch, we have a lot to talk about, but also it's the first episode where my channel will be partnered with Zoomin TV. If you guys don't know about Zoomin TV, they're basically a YouTube channel that partners with other YouTube channels, so now whenever I make content, it'll be going up there as well. So if you guys could do me a favor and just subscribe to them, that would be really great. Give them some support, and also if you're watching this on Zoomin and you haven't subscribed to my channel, if you could do that, that would be really great. So I'm really excited about this partnership, and I hope you guys are too. I will be uploading at the same time as this video that is just about my new partnership with Zoomin, talking about the changes that will be made to my channel and just stuff like that. So if you haven't watched it, make sure you guys watch that, because it will give a lot of information about the coming months and the coming year just in general about the future of my channel. So with all that being said, let's get into the meat of the video. First off, I just want to say, I know it's not Saturday. It is Monday. This weekend I had to go down to Philadelphia and visit some family. Again, I will try to get these on Saturday, but generally they'll come out in the weekend area. But I will try to get them up on Saturday. It's just, don't be shocked if they don't come out on Saturdays, I guess what I'm saying. So let's talk about the agenda. We have a lot to talk about today. So Craglorn, the first content update, that is going to be a huge part of today's episode. We'll also be talking about the new trials, which is a new endgame PvE system. We'll be talking about a little bit about the subscription fee and having to pay for it before the 30 days was over, and my thoughts on that. We'll be talking about the new auction house forums, and then we'll be talking about some new mods that came out so you can change up the UI in Elder Scrolls Online. So let's just get started with Craglorn first and just hop right into it. So Craglorn, if you guys have no idea what it is the first content release for Elder Scrolls Online, and it will also be the first adventure zone. So we'll talk a little bit more about what adventure zones are, but basically it's the zone where it's meant for 4 players to do some PvE. It has like a quest and side quests just like any zone in Elder Scrolls Online would. It's meant for 4 players, like I said, and it's supposed to be veteran content. So it starts at veteran rank 10, and that's basically the level for the zone. And yeah, the zone takes place, it's situated between Hammerfell and Cyrodiil. It's a really cool looking zone. If you guys haven't seen it, the trailer will be playing on the screen right now. Yeah, but it is the first piece of additional content, and hopefully we'll be getting it pretty soon. So first, let's just talk about adventure zones in general. Like I said, meant for 4 players. These will all pretty much be endgame zones, and they start at veteran rank 10, or at least this one does. And basically, it's just like a regular zone, except it's meant for 4 players. So it's kind of like just a PvE-oriented zones. Even though all the zones are PvE, this is meant to play with friends, and you're gonna really struggle with it if you try to do it solo. So let's talk about the story quick. So the constellations in this place have gone missing, and it has to do a lot with the Celestials, which are the warrior, the mage, the thief, and the serpent. You guys probably know those constellations from Skyrim, but the constellations have gone missing, and part of the quest is uncovering why this happened and things like that. So it really is sort of a fresh story, has nothing to do with the main story at all. If you didn't play the main story, even though that's basically impossible to get to the end game without doing that, and you just want to be confused at all, this is a completely separate story, and I'm sure all these adventure zones, they are going to be separate stories, which is kind of cool. And it's going to be nice just to hop in and get a new story and uncover this mystery, which is nice. So there is a main story, like I said, that has to do with the constellations, but there's also side quests, just like in any zone, so you and your friends can find that through exploring the world. And a lot of these quests will be repeatable, which is kind of cool, but I don't know how I feel about that. That kind of feels like going to more of like a Guild Wars 2 sort of thing. So I'm a little skeptical of that, and it worries me a little, but we'll just have to wait and see. I'm afraid it'll just end up being people, repeating the same quest over and over to get some XP. I think they said it'll only be daily that you can repeat them, but I am a little concerned about that. But they'll also have delves, which are mini dungeons that are instanced to your group this time. So you know how if you went into like a mini dungeon, that's kind of what I call them, but I guess they're supposed to be called delves. If you went into that in a regular PvE zone, like, I don't know, Stone Falls or Shadowfen or Deshan or anything like that, they wouldn't be instanced to you or your group. There would just be a bunch of people running through the zone. Sometimes there would be 20 people in one delve. But now they're instanced to your group, so it makes it that much more challenging, and also it just makes you stick with your group more and rely on your group even more than you usually would. So that pretty much does it for what is going to be in the Adventure Zone, and I kind of want to go to Trials, but I am really excited for Craglorn, and I think it's going to be a really cool zone to run around with your friends, and I'm really excited to see how Adventure Zones work, because, you know, instead of just adding new dungeons and raids, I'm really excited for the new PvE content they're coming out with Elder Scrolls Online. It seems like they're really trying to make it unique, which is really cool. So let's talk about Trials, which is the new, like, really hardcore PvE system that they're adding to the Elder Scrolls Online. So it's designed for a group of 12. So first thing you'll probably notice is that's way larger than the Adventure Zones. It's also much larger than all the in-game dungeons that we had with the vanilla game. So a group of 12 is a huge, big step, I think in probably the right direction for Elder Scrolls Online. So basically what Trials are is you have to go through this area, and it's all about timing. There is a time restriction, or no, there is no time restriction. There is a timer going, and there's a restriction on how many resurrections you can have. And every time you die and you have to resurrect yourself, it counts against your time. So you're trying to get the fastest time, and if you get on the leaderboard, you will be given rewards for that. Well, I'm guessing like new armors or new weapons. So it is really cool, and it does give you incentive to keep repeating the trial to try to get an even better time. So there will be new bosses in these areas. They said the bosses will use new tactics that haven't been seen before, which is really cool. They also said there's going to be environmental hazards, which actually interests me a lot, because I'm not sure if that's something we saw in the vanilla ESO, or at least I haven't seen it yet. So that's pretty cool, and I'm really excited to see that. But really, this is a hardcore thing. It's not something you're going to go through once and just not come back to like I did with the dungeons. It's going to be something that you and your group is going to have to keep repeating. And the leaderboard with the rewards is a really great way just to encourage hardcore PvEers just to keep being hardcore PvEers and just keep trying to get a faster time, just over and over and over again repeating it until they get it. So I think this idea is really great, and I think it's something that really shows how ESO is going to have new game systems as it keeps going. It would have been really easy if they just added like a zone with some new dungeons, but instead they added two new things, the Adventure Zones and the Trials. So it really shows how they're going to focus on adding new systems to the game rather than just expanding on the ones that they have, which is something that they did say they were going to try to do, and this just really goes and proves it. So I'm really excited for both these content releases. So now that we have the background on what both of these things are, I just wanted to talk about my overall thoughts about the first content release. So first off, I want to say, if you guys watched the trailer, there are some really awesome looking armors. They look completely different than anything we've seen in ESO so far. We had one with this like tribal mask that looked really cool. We saw like a stone armor. It looks really great, and some of these armors look really cool. So it really just rewards veterans for being veterans when they're getting gear that looks as awesome as this does. So now I just want to talk about like when it might be released. You know, they haven't come out with a release date, but I assume it's going to be like an every 30-day thing, considering that's how often we're paying. So, you know, around May 4th, something like that, pretty soon. I don't think I'm going to reach level cap by then. I'm hoping I will. Right now I'm at level 20, like exactly. I'm really hoping that I will, but, you know, I'll just have to see. But if you are with me, there's no rush, because you know you can play this anytime. You don't have to play it when it first comes out. And I'm sure there will still be people who are still playing it, and you can still group up and play it. So right now, I'm pretty surprised that they went for a huge veteran content release. I would think they would do something more like a level 40 release or something like that, but they went right to veteran content, which is actually pretty cool because, you know, everyone always says you can't judge a MMO until you get to the end game, because the end game is the most important. And they are right, you know, we can breeze through these MMOs like, I don't know, in 100 hours you get to level cap in this game. You know, a lot of people have already done that. If you go to Cyrodiil, you will see veteran ranked players. And it's really great that they're already adding veteran content, and instead of just adding some new stuff, you know, that would just give to everyone, because it really shows how this game is going to keep expanding, and the end game is going to be there. This is a huge release. I know a lot of people complain in like World of Warcraft that the releases weren't big enough every month. If people complain about this, I just don't know what I'll think, just because it's so big and they've given us so much for $15, and I'm completely willing to pay that much for this much content. So great job ZeniMax giving us this much stuff, and yeah, a big release is obviously good. You know, more ESO is never a bad thing. So this episode has been pretty positive, but I kind of want to talk about something a little negative, which is the subscription fee and actually having to pay for it. You know, right when the game came out, you know, a few days afterwards. I forget which day it was, but it was pretty soon and definitely not 30 days. And the problem with this is we were guaranteed 30 days free. Now, I know the subscription fee didn't count for the first month, it counts for the second month we play. But 30 days free means that I don't have to pay for 30 days. Now, if I had the option to buy a subscription fee, you know, right now, that would be fine, because if I wanted to do that, I could do that. But the problem is they made us pay, so they might say, you know, oh, you still got the first 30 days free, but I didn't, because if I didn't pay $15, I still couldn't play the game. And that is a huge problem, and it just, I don't think they meant it to like be something where they're just raking in more money faster. I just don't think they thought over it enough. I heard people who had problems that like they had to enter the code that they got with the physical Imperial Edition, but it was still being mailed to the house, so they couldn't play Elder Scrolls Online for 4 days. They physically could not log in. And for me, it took me like 45 minutes to actually buy the subscription fee and everything, so I was really frustrated. I just can't imagine what would happen if I couldn't play for 4 days. So people were really frustrated, and I'm sure if you went on the Reddit page, then you saw there was like a huge thread with like probably 400 replies about people just complaining. I just don't know why ZeniMax decided to do that. And again, this isn't the developers, it's not the Paul Sage, it's not Nick Conkle. It really is the business people, and they're gonna ruin this game if they keep doing stuff like this. It was just a really bad business move. When people are already complaining about the financial stuff, you know, complaining about the in-game store, it was just so stupid. I just don't even know why they decided to do that. Hopefully this won't happen again. Well, I mean, we'll still be paying every month. Hopefully something like this won't happen again, because, you know, every time this happens, more and more people will leave the game, and the game will just continue to die. So that's just a little negative point I had, but I'm really loving ESO, and I was okay paying for it. It didn't make sense to me why they did it, and it just ruined the 30-day free option, because, or not even the option, the thing we were guaranteed, because we didn't get 30 days free. We didn't have to pay for the first month, but we had to pay for the second month right away. So it really, in the end, didn't matter that we got the first 30 days free, because we still have to pay in order to play. So that's just a little complaint I had, and I'm sure some of you guys have frustrating stories from that. But anyway, I want to talk about something a little bit more positive, which is the new auction house for Elder Scrolls Online. So this is not an in-game auction house, it's an out-of-game auction house, and you guys might think, what does that mean? Well, basically what it is it's this forum where you can post things you want to buy, things you want to trade for, and things you want to sell. So it's really awesome. It basically serves an auction house, so if you have something you want to sell, you have a lot of stuff, you just post it all, people who are interested will spawn. So it's not an auction house per se, but it is a very efficient way of trading. There will be a link in the description to it, and I haven't tried it out, but I am going to. And it's really exciting. You know, you can do anything. You can sell materials, weapons, armors. You can even do services, like people are selling vampire bites, which is something I'm really interested in getting. If you want to have a service where you just every week harvest stuff for people and send it to them, that you can do that. So it's really exciting. It's really going to help the economy in ESO just boom, and it really just helps trading a lot. You know, right now you just type into the zone chat, and if someone's interested, they just whisper to you. But this is really exciting, and it's just so great, and I'm so excited, and yeah, I'm going to start using it pretty soon, get into some trading. So if you guys are interested, follow the link in the description, and that'll bring you right there. Just make an account, and you'll be all ready to start trading. So I want to talk about some new mods for ESO. This is probably something I'm going to be doing every week, just talking about my new favorite Elder Scrolls Online mods. Right now I'm still playing the vanilla ESO. I still want to kind of roll with that, but I probably will download some of these things. I'm not a huge UI guy. I love the minimal UI of the Elder Scrolls, so unless it's something like chat bubbles or something, I'm probably not going to download it. But there are some cool ones that came out that I do want to talk to you about. So first off is the Sky Shard map. So this is just for your map for the zone. It will show you every Sky Shard location, which is really helpful. So some people just look up the guides anyway. So now you can just download this and find out where the Sky Shards are, which is really helpful. For me, I prefer to explore, find them on my own. It feels more rewarding. And then when I leave the zone, if I missed a few, I look it up online and I go back. But right now, I just kind of am enjoying exploring and finding them, so I'm not going to download this. But if you are the person who is going to look it up online anyway, just download this mod. It'll help you a lot. Next is the Xbox 360 mapping mod. So this is going to let you play with an Xbox 360 controller, which is really awesome. So if that's something you guys want to do, make sure you just check that out. Next is the mini-map, which adds a little mini-map to the corner of your screen. Pretty self-explanatory. Then we have the ESO calendar, which is probably my personal favorite mod that came out. It has the Tamrielic date. It also shows holidays, and it's going to show up on the bottom right of your screen, and also when you enter the map. So right now it shows real world time, but this will add Tamrielic, the date, and also, like I said, it will show holidays and stuff, which is pretty cool. So if you're interested in a more lore friendly mod, just make sure you check that out. So that is pretty much going to do it for today's episode. If you guys are new to the ESO Saturday, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, if you're watching this on Zoomin, if you could subscribe to my personal channel, that would be really great, because even though I am partnered with Zoomin, I kind of like to watch that grow and see my progress. And if you are watching this on my channel and you haven't subscribed to Zoomin, please help support them and make sure you guys go subscribe to them. So I will have more ESO videos this week, still probably exclusively covering Elder Scrolls Online. We'll probably have a review of the physical items, like with the Imperial Edition, show you guys all of that stuff. I'll probably have my thoughts when I'm halfway to level cap, which will probably happen by tomorrow. And I am working on an outro for my videos, so if you guys have any things you want to see with that, I don't know, just let me know. And really in general, if you guys have any tips that you want to see me do on my channel, or really any suggestions or things that you want me to change, just let me know and I'll work on it. If you want more videos on, guides for the Elder Scrolls Online, I'd be happy to do that. If you want more podcasts like this, I'd be happy to make more longer videos. Just let me know and I'll work on it, and that way you're happier and then I get more views, so I'm happier. So thanks for watching, guys, and again, I'll see you in the next one. A lot more videos coming up. Just thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.